In your corporate finance course, you explained the case of Disney with Eisner, where it had like a misalignment of interests with the shareholders, and well, that's a case where the governance was not proper for shareholders. But we also have cases like Mark Zuckerberg on Facebook, where like one key person is perhaps the cause of a lot of value being created to shareholders. Uh, how much attention do you pay to corporate governance before investing in a company? And if you could just expand on the importance of it. And
Well, I worry, but I'll tell you why. I mean, I worry about a system that locks in existing management forever. And I use the language of democracy to explain why. Sometimes you can have dictators who are benevolent dictators, right? You like the dictator because he's brought law and order back. He's making the kind of the trains run on time. You know, you can think of Chile and when in the early 70s. You know, this is you're getting the country back in order. The only problem is benevolent dictators can sometimes become malevolent dictators. In a democracy, here's the advantage you get. Every 4 or 5, whatever the number of years is in Brazil, you get a chance to replace the government if you feel it's not. I mean, it's a chance you might not take. You might choose not to vote. You might vote for the wrong, but you get that chance every 5 years. And if you have a good government, they might get reelected over and over again, and that's the nature of democracy. In a dictatorship, I am essentially trusting Zuckerberg not only to be a good CEO now, but a good CEO forever. And that's scary. And that scares me. How much would I discount the value of Facebook for it? It depends on how much he throws his weight around. And to be honest, I like the way Zuckerberg has worked with Facebook. He's not done things you don't see him doing things because personally he feels it for an ego boost. Right? There are some CEOs who say, I'm going to do this acquisition because it makes me feel better. Zuckerberg has been closer to Bill Gates in the way he's managed Facebook than he has been to some of those dictatorial CEOs at other companies who start doing things just because they're impulsive. So I've been impressed with the way he's managed the company. The privacy issues would have been there no matter who ran the company, because this is a company built on invading your privacy. It's kind of hypocritical to point to Facebook saying, how come you're taking what you've learned about me and using it on me? Well, guess what? Who gave them the information to use on you? It's you. So when people get hypocritical, say, how come you're doing this? Well, stop posting everything in your personal life on Facebook, and Facebook will start finding out less about you. So my concern with Facebook is less than my concern would have been with WeWork if Adam Neumann ran it. Because Adam Neumann was also a dictator, but he seemed to be doing things. He did things like, I don't know whether you read the story about, he came back from a flight in Europe, and for whatever reason, he got a bee in his bonnet about meat, and he banned all meat being eaten in the WeWork offices. So everybody had to be either vegetarian or vegan. No. And this is the kind of impulsive thing that dictators do. I mean, it's not something a CEO of a business should be doing. So I think that when you get impulsive, and that's one reason I'm more concerned with Tesla than I would be with Amazon. Jeff Bezos rules Amazon. Elon Musk rules Tesla. But Elon Musk does some really crazy things as a CEO that are personal things, like that Thai cave where people got trapped, and he sent a boring machine to put a hole in there. That's the kind of thing that drives me crazy. I want Tesla. Now, again, I bought it at 180, and again, I told people, look, I view it as my corporate teenager. I mean, if you remember when you were a teenager, what teenagers do is every morning they wake up and they ask a question, which is, I have lots of potential, but what can I do to screw it up today? They do things that are really stupid, and Tesla strikes me as a corporate teenager. So it worried me. And for a long time, I think it held Tesla's value down. So when I valued Tesla, I had to bring in Elon Musk on predictability. You can't remove him. He is Tesla. He is the visionary who built Tesla. So I think he's done a lot of good things. But he also has all his weaknesses as a human being play out as a corporate CEO. So I think it depends. I mean, some corporate CEOs are very less. I would say corporate governance is more than just about the CEO, right? I mean, it depends on where the power lies. I mean, if you read my post, I wrote it about 5 years ago, at the very bottom of Petrobras, where I took took apart how Petrobras went from being a $200 billion company to a $10 billion company. Exact opposite of what it's supposed to do. One of the things I pointed to was that its corporate governance was driven by who managers thought they had to keep happy. And what managers at Petrobras realized was they didn't have to keep stockholders happy. They had to keep people in Brasilia happy to hold on to their jobs. So guess what? They delivered whatever the people in Brasilia wanted, which was go bore for more oil, become the biggest oil company in the world, even if it didn't make sense. So corporate governance is more about entrenching CEOs and less about entrenching CEOs, more about who do CEOs want to keep happy. And at Facebook, at least, my sense is Zuckerberg really cares about the stock price, whether it's for personal or selfish reasons or for the public good. It doesn't really matter to me, because if he cares about the stock price, I'm going to benefit. So as a Facebook stockholder, I'm glad he's focused on increasing the stock price. But if he loses that focus, then I worry.